What is going on, e-commerce sellers? Lamar here, and in today's video I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys a very stressful event that's been going on within my business over the past 2 months, and this has been my third-party warehousing solution. There's a couple of different variables, issues going on here, which I'm going to be explaining about in today's video, but I haven't mentioned it on previous videos just because I've been really stressed out about it, quite honestly. And it was just this past Friday that I feel a little bit better about the whole situation. We've been able to finally work through a lot of the problems, or the major problem that I was dealing with. And I really just wanted to make a video about my experience over the past 2 months because it's been super stressful for me. And I hope, or I think that I can shed some insight into different things that you guys can avoid as far as new policies that Amazon is rolling out, how to deal with third-party, warehousing solutions, and basically a massive change that I had to implement into my supply chain in the flow of products that we're bringing from China and selling, online in the USA on Amazon. So, like I said, it's been a super stressful thing for me the past 2 months, but I finally feel comfortable enough to talk about it, share the experience with you guys. I think there's going to be some great takeaways. This video is definitely for you if you're just launching your first, second product, and you're thinking about, warehousing solution or scaling up your operation. Or if you've got, 5, 10, 15 products already selling on Amazon, you're definitely going to want to watch this video and see how I am running my supply chain, how I'm going about, working with a third-party warehousing solution. Super valuable. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'm getting a lot of great feedback. I love the questions, the comments that you guys are leaving. So let's just keep this rolling, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, guys, so let's talk about the massive issue that I was dealing with over the past 2 months with my third-party warehouse. I'm first going to just start off by talking about a recent Amazon policy that was just introduced, I guess it was this past summer, which has radically changed or adjusted the way I've had to move my supply chain. And it was basically that Amazon rolled out something called an inventory performance score, or their index. And it's a metric that they're now grading third-party sellers on how well they're managing their inventory. And it's a number, if you guys haven't seen it, it's a number that's now on your Amazon Seller Central dashboard. I'll throw up a picture of it right here just so that we're all aware of what I'm talking about. Well, this number was really low for me maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I was down at the low 300s, even in some cases breaking into the 200s. And the main reason for that was that my sell-through rate was super low. Now, what does my sell-through rate mean? It's essentially a formula, and I'll throw it up right here, which basically is a number of units sold divided by the number of units that are being held in Amazon over a 90-day period. Easily explained, I was holding too much inventory in Amazon versus the amount of sales that were being sold for that same SKU. So previous to the summer, before the summer, I was using Amazon as basically a warehouse. And they've made it extremely clear with the new policy rollout and the fees rollout that they no longer want to be a warehouse. And my practice right now is we're not holding, if we can't sell the inventory within 3 months on Amazon, we're not shipping it into Amazon. So at maximum, we're keeping between 2 to 3 months of inventory in Amazon's fulfillment centers at any given time. But before the summer, we weren't doing that, and I was holding a lot more inventory in Amazon's fulfillment centers, and my score was really low. They were penalizing me severely. Actually, like I said, that score was in the low 300s, and if your score is below 350, they actually restrict the amount of inventory that you can send into Amazon, and they were restricting the amount of inventory that I can send into Amazon during the holiday season, which is a major nightmare because you don't want to have inventory restrictions through the holiday season. And I was basically capped out. I was like not able to send in inventory over the past 2-3 months because my score was just like not good enough. And it was the main reason, like I said, was because my sell-through rate was just so low. I had too much inventory in Amazon. So that was basically a new Amazon policy that they just rolled out, and they did it pretty quickly. They gave you a couple of months to adjust your inventory levels, but I tried doing a couple of different things. It just wasn't working out. I tried selling more units. I tried running sales. We tried managing a little bit, differently our inventory. There just wasn't like enough of a great enough impact on that score. So eventually what I ended up having to do was a massive removal order from Amazon. And that is what kind of stemmed this massive inventory problem that I had. But before I get into that, I did just want to back up a little bit and briefly explain how I ship products from Amazon and kind of just the process, how I ship products from China and just the process of, or looking at the logistics a little bit of my supply chain. So I'm going to wipe this down for a second here and just draw up a really quick map so we can walk through this together. Alright guys, so this is don't judge me here on the drawing, but this is basically China, the USA, and I wanted to briefly explain here just how I was running my supply chain, the logistics, previous to the summer, and now what the scenario looks like after I've introduced a third-party warehouse. So most of my product is coming from either Hong Kong or Shanghai in China, and I was pretty much always going through the LA port here in one form or another. So all my product basically leaves Shanghai or China, or Shanghai or Hong Kong, and then enters in through the LA port. And previous to the summer, when I would ship LTLs or full containers, I was just going direct into Amazon fulfillment centers. So, as you guys know, Amazon has fulfillment centers all over the USA. So, and we were basically coming right into the port and then shipping we were splitting the shipments. So some would go here, some would go to this one, some would go to this one. So we were splitting the shipments and going direct into Amazon fulfillment centers right from China. But now, due to my purchase orders and the amount of inventory that I can store in Amazon at any given time, I can no longer go direct from China into Amazon fulfillment centers for the inventory performance score and for Amazon fees. It's just out of control and I can no longer do this. So what I've had to do is introduce a fulfillment center or a warehouse right outside of LA that now basically stores my product, and then I slowly drip product into the fulfillment centers. Okay, and we'll store, I think I'm now storing almost about 100 pallets worth of product within my own business, just directly within the warehouse, my warehouse now that's located in LA. And let me tell you guys, I was super excited about setting up a warehouse because I honestly thought that this was like the last step in my supply chain. I really feel confident now that after now that I've worked through this issue and that we've built up this final piece, the warehousing piece of my supply chain, that I really have a strong ability to design, manufacture, and sell products online. The warehouse was really like that final piece to my supply chain, and now everything you know, knock on wood here, can like flow decently smoothly. But this was really the final piece. But let me tell you, the past 2 months, super stressful, because this was not a smooth process to introduce this final warehousing piece to my supply chain. Okay, so that is generally speaking how I've been shipping products up until this past summer. Now that we've introduced this warehousing solution, and like I said earlier, my inventory performance score was not very good. What I had to do was do a massive removal order from Amazon fulfillment centers. Okay, so, and I don't know if you guys realize, but you know, your products are scattered all over the country in the USA in all different fulfillment centers. So you might have like, you know, 50 units up here, 75 units here, you know, 30 units in this one, 20 units down here, and like 5 in this one. So Amazon, you know, has scattered your product across the country so that they can offer, you know, prime 2-day delivery and all those benefits that we've come to, you know, love about Amazon. But the issue is that then your products are all scattered around Amazon. And when you have to do a removal order, what happens is that they pull a portion of these products from here, a portion of these products from here, a portion of these products from here, and then ship them to the location. Well, I did a removal order for, it was like 15 different SKUs, and it was almost like 1,000, 1,500 units. And like I said, this was because I was storing too many units in Amazon. My score was hurting, and I had to do something very quickly to improve my score so that I wasn't penalized both on the fees and on my inventory restriction levels, you know, the amount of inventory that I could send in Amazon. And it was getting to like, they had deadlines, I think it was like August or July 15th, July 31st. They had really strict deadlines about like, you had to improve the score by this time or you were just gonna, you know, I was like in some serious trouble. So I had to take drastic action and do a removal order on like 1,500 units. And what ended up happening was that they would take like 3 units of one SKU, 5 units of another SKU, 10 units of another SKU, put them all in like a single box and ship them directly to my warehouse. So my warehouse just started receiving, I think they said they received over 200 different boxes with random SKUs in it. And it was just a complete mess. It was a disaster. So my warehouse that I also selected happens to be like not the most tech savvy. They're running their operation a little bit old school. So their online database is garbage. They're checking in things manually. So when, you know, products come in, they're not scanning them at the barcode. They're like hand counting different things. So the warehouse definitely has some old school things going on within their operation, which has compounded the complexity of this issue. But then I also sent them, you know, 1,500 units of random SKUs all to their warehouse, all, you know, within a very short amount of period of time. And it came in like I said, 200 boxes, and they were just completely overwhelmed. So what ended up happening was that all these SKUs just got like dumped in some back corner in their warehouse, and they really didn't pay much attention to it. And I didn't realize that this was a problem until like a month or, you know, 5 weeks after I'd already done the removal order. I kind of just assumed that they were going to like stock in the units appropriately as they started receiving each individual Amazon, you know, box from the removal order. This just wasn't the case at all. And what ended up happening was they just took a box, they threw it in a back corner, and was like, this is too complicated for us, we're not going to handle this. I didn't realize it fast enough, and it just sat there, and the project just got dragged on and on and on. And then by the time I finally did realize it, I needed this product back in Amazon. So there was this the past 3 weeks have been this craze of basically sorting these 1,500 units and then shipping them back into Amazon, because I was on the border of like running out of stock of a good amount of products. Like close to 30–40% of my products were almost like borderline running out of stock, and that was because we had to do this removal order, and then by the time the whole complication got worked out and all the different things were finally like organized, we made the labels and whatnot, they understood what needed to be done and shipped them back into Amazon, I was like borderline running out of stock. So it's been a crazy hectic past 3 weeks, and it's mostly due to this situation that happened here. So the positive to this whole scenario is that my warehouse is cheap. Okay, so I am paying roughly $10 to $15 per pallet for storage in my warehouse right outside of the LA port. And typically, you know, warehousing space out there can see anywhere from like $30 to $35 per pallet. However, they're super old school, and they did cause like some massive stress in my business over the past 3 weeks. So I'm not sure like which is better. You know, I think I'm definitely looking at other warehousing solutions so that I can, you know, solve, so I don't have to deal with this issue again. However, you know, paying $10 a pallet is, you know, much cheaper than $30 a pallet. And like, to their benefit, or, you know, in their defense, I should say, is that handling the removal order from Amazon was definitely complicated, but it's not something that they shouldn't be familiar with or be able to like work through. And they did work through it. It just took them far too long. There's no transparency. The communication is like not great, and their online inventory system, well, basically is non-existent. I mean, they said that they had some online inventory management system, but it's just like really, it's basically manual data entry. Nothing is live. So this has caused a lot of back and forth with my team. I've actually had to set up, you know, a process on my own team to basically triple check all of their numbers and everything that they were doing, just so that we could like make sure that we're not losing inventory in their warehouse. It's been a massive problem, but I'm going to give them another chance, because I know that this is a challenging task to handle, and I'm hoping that they're going to be able to handle the, you know, the container loads that I'm sending them and shipping just in pallets, dripping pallets into Amazon, because that's a little bit easier of a job. Alright guys, so there's a couple of main takeaways that I want you to get from this video. And number one is that we can no longer use Amazon as a warehousing solution, right? We need to drip products into the Amazon fulfillment centers and then sell those products within a 2 to 3 month period. Okay, this is super important. You can't overlook this statement, right? So we only want to be putting in products into Amazon fulfillment centers that are going to have a sell-through of at least like 2 to 3 months. You don't want to be keeping products in there any longer than that. It's going to hurt your scores, your inventory performance scores, and you're just going to start getting hit with fees. 3 months is now my max window, and that's how, you know, we've been able to solve a lot of those problems with my inventory performance score, because we only keep 2 to 3 months of inventory in Amazon at any given time. So we can no longer use Amazon as a warehouse. That's takeaway number one. Takeaway number two here, guys, is that you want to be manufacturing a small batch size on that initial PO for a new product. I typically am manufacturing only 500 units on my initial run for my product launch. And the reason for that, and for you guys, is that if you don't have this warehousing solution just set up yet, you can go direct from China to Amazon fulfillment centers, and 500 units is a good amount where you can test the market, you can get customer feedback, you can see how much sales velocity there is, whatnot. But you know, in a worst case scenario, you're not going to be stuck with a ton of inventory, or if it takes a little bit longer to sell than you've expected, 500 units isn't the end of the day, and you're not stuck with like thousands and thousands, right? So 500, in my experience, has been a good, you know, batch, product batch quantity for you to be able to test the market, good customer feedback, and not like hurt your inventory performance score, or get hit with too many fees if it takes a little bit longer for you to sell. Takeaway number 3 here on the list is a warehouse. A warehouse. So as you guys continue to scale your business, right? Maybe this is product number 3, number 4, number 5, whatnot. You absolutely will need this warehousing solution. You're going to need a place to drop your product between it coming from China, hitting the port here, and going into Amazon. That is your 3rd takeaway. So don't get overwhelmed just yet if you're not at this stage yet. Just know that you're definitely going to need a warehousing solution looking into the future as you continue to scale your operation. I'm going to have to make a different video on just what to look for when going for and like working with a warehouse. But just so you know, keep it in the back of your mind that as you continue to scale your business, you're going to need a warehousing solution moving forward. So there you guys have it. I did just want to share, you know, the different things that I've been going through over the past 2-3 months here with my warehouse. The positive news is my inventory performance score is up above it's in the 370s right now, and Amazon has given me unlimited inventory. So I'm no longer restricted on the inventory, so I've solved that problem, which is awesome because now I can continue to send in new products and I can just continue to keep pumping those sales through the holiday season, which I'm super excited about. And also positively is that we've worked through this massive removal order that I've had to do from Amazon, and the warehouse, you know, has sorted all the products, and we finally got that all sorted out, and we've shipped it back into Amazon, and my products are like completely in stock right now. So that's also been like a massive relief. So now going forward, the warehouse, you know, hopefully speaking, should just be dealing with containers and then shipping in full pallets into Amazon. So we've worked through that issue. So this week has been like a lot better for me, and I'm looking forward to the future, guys. Here, things are going well, and let's keep this momentum going. Hopefully you got some value out of today's video. If you have, hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, like I said, please hit that subscribe button, guys, and I'm going to keep coming out with more videos. In the meantime, have a great rest of your day. Keep taking action, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.